Hi, I'm Andrew Sandoval, and I am the founder and the publisher and editor at Beatland Books. It's a company that I started to publish my own music books because many of you know I'm a big music fan. You may have seen some of my work on some of the Kinks reissues over the years, and also I've done a lot of stuff with the Monkees, and I've been a Kinks fan now for over 40 years. And many years back, about 20 years ago, my friend Doug Hinman put out this day-by-day book on the Kinks, and I helped out a little bit with this. It's a wonderful book. Still has a load of amazing information for a lot of people researching the Kinks. They look to this for concert dates and television appearances, radio appearances, and recording information. And in the same series, the same publishers put out this book by me on the Monkees. And 5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to redo this Monkees book, and I turned it into this with my own publishing company, from this book of about 300 pages to 700 something pages, because I'd done a lot of research in the ensuing 20 years, and a lot of newspaper archives came online. And so Doug got this book, Doug Hinman, who wrote this one, my friend, and he said, "Boy, I really, really like your Monkees book, although it is a little hard to read because it's so heavy." And I said, "Well, I would love to update your book just like this." And he said, "Well, let me think about it." So he thought about it for a couple of years, and then finally he said, "Well, if you help me finish it, I will do it." And that was about 2 years ago, and it took 2 years to revamp the Kinks book, and we're just about to start our pre-orders on it now in 2 different editions, and it's 520 pages. So it went from this, which is about literally 350 pages, to 500. And also we broke up the volumes. This book goes from the Kinks' origins in the 1940s when Ray and Dave Davies were born to 1996 when they broke up. This is too big, and in order to do the Kinks' history justice, we broke it up into 3 volumes. So the first volume is 520 pages, which is sort of the equivalent of that thick, from this thick to that thick. And it's also in this larger format, like this size. And this book has about, I counted up, 11 pages of photos from that era, from 1940 to 1971, which is what the first book we're doing covers. And the book I'm going to show you bits of now has over 400 images. And in this book, the period, the sort of Reprise period of the Kinks that's really important to many of their fans, is covered in about 150 pages. And again, we expanded it to 520. So I'm going to show you bits and pieces of it, but I also want to say, there are a lot of Kinks books. I'm a big Kinks collector. I've got loads of them, and there's more here. Of course, these books by Ray and Dave are definitive. They're their personal accounts, but the actual sort of goings-on day-to-day of all of their concerts and recording sessions and all that, they only can cover a little bit, and these are for a big market, for the mainstream market. But I want to make a book that was really for Kinks fanatics, and so I also want to make something that's really lavish, and that's what these books are. They're very, very high-quality printing jobs, and they're coffee table books. The Kinks have never had such a lavish book. The most lavish book probably was this book from 1984 by John Savage, which is an excellent, excellent book. But this, I would say, this new book has a lot on offer that has never been in any other Kinks book. So let's have a quick look at some of it here. These are the print proofs, and I'll slide this back a little bit so you can see a little bit more of it. But this is essentially the size that the Kinks book is going to be. So here's the table of contents, and beautiful early photo of them from February of 1964. And then the author's notes here from Doug and myself. And then the first part of the book focuses on their origins from 1940 through 1963. In early 64, that's when they changed their name to the Kinks, but we cover this early period, talk about some of their influences like Big Bill Brinsley, Tal Farlow, Doris Day. So we get into all that. The information is culled from thousands, literally, of worldwide newspapers, magazines, books, anything that Doug and I could find that mentioned the Kinks. Some of the stuff is online, but not all of it. And Doug is a catalog librarian, and I also keep my own library of music papers. So we had access to a lot of information that isn't anywhere else but in this wonderful book. So here's some more bits and pieces from this first chapter, but I'll skip ahead to 1964, and each of the chapters has a nice sort of opening picture. That's a nice photo of them from that year. Dave with his Epiphone Casino here. And then we get right into, you see there's an intro for each year, and then day by day what they're doing. And we're able to break down recording sessions too with a lot of information that we got from Shel Talmey's archive. Here's the original invoice for their first ever recording session at Pi that included their debut single, Long Tall Sally, I Took My Baby Home, those sorts of songs, You Still Want Me. And we move on through, and you get all their live dates, recording sessions, everything that we could find. Here's stuff about the songs that Ray wrote that were covered by other people. I've Got That Feeling done by the Orchids, One Fine Day by Shel Naylor, a very early photo of them from a program. Anyway, I'll skip ahead a little bit so you can get a flavor of some of the other chapters. 1965 is the biggest year in the book because it was the year they came on tour in America for the first time, and it's the year with the most activity. So I'll just sort of flip through some of these things. You can see bits and pieces. There's also a big bust up at Cardiff between Ray and, between Dave and Mick that we go into detail on. But we also have a lot of original Pi press releases and Reprise press releases, pictures of acetates, all kinds of amazing things. But I'll move on to some of the other stuff. Here's some bits and pieces from 1967. There's Dave, of course. We get into his solo career that started with Death of a Clown that year. And we have breakdowns of every sort of existing session that we could find material on, and reproductions of original newspaper covers. And the original book that Doug did in 2004 was only black and white, so this is full color throughout. And you can get it from our website at beatlandbooks.com. And it's the only place where it's available. It's not going to be available on Amazon. There'll be no audiobook. There'll be no digital book. It's only going to exist as a physical book because we want to present it in this sort of lavish quality, and the only way to do it the right way would be to do it this way. So if you want it, you can pre-order it now. It's going to be delivering to people on the week of February 20th internationally. So please do look into it if you have some interest in it, and we'll be doing some more videos, and I'll show you some more of the book on those. Thanks.